welcome back to A Game of Fangs and Swords. My name's Hannah. This is just a weekly vlog where you can see what I get up to in a week. Today is Bank Holiday Monday in the UK, so I do have the day off. I have a lovely cup of Earl Grey, just you steeping, and I have just woken up and I am having a really late start. But plans for today are probably just to relax, because technically I am on holiday, but I can't not write. I've given myself 2 days officially. No, actually no, I think it was Wednesday. I finished editing the Rise of the Riders, the Dragon book, and then I ordered my sort of bound copies for some trusted friends, so I'm just waiting for them. They should be here this Saturday. So there's that. So while I've been doing that, I have been reading and crocheting. I have my Disney blanket that is still going, but it's getting there. I think I'll probably finish the patterns I've got and then order some more magazines. But yes, there's that. This month, April, I seem to have fell into a little challenge with myself to read as many sequels as I can, so I'm still doing that. And I have officially started work on Magic Book 4, which is called Into the Darkness. I don't know if I said that before, but yes. No, Book 3, sorry. Magic Book 3. Yes, that's fun. I'm going to let my tea steep and then I'll come back to you. So, I've got my tea and I've got my bits and bobs for today. And please excuse the finger. I had an accident while taking off the last set of nails I had, so this is just to keep it clean and dry as much as possible. Now I have my try again. It's hard one-handed. I have my Remarkable tablet, which is where I am drafting this. That's where I'm drafting book 3, pretty much. I'm just going to write it by hand and then type it up when it's done, which I will regret later on, but I think that's how my process works at the moment. It's worked in the past, and I went excuse me, and I went to see if it will still work. So when I'm not drafting, I'm going to be reading. And this is the cover from Charlie and Fox. Not sponsored, I just really, really like them. I think I've also got it upside down. There we go. It's the When the Moon Hatched collection, but the book I'm reading is The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. Technically, this isn't a sequel, and technically it is. It's the first in a new series, but that new series is a continuation of the Darker Shades of Magic series. So Darker Shade of Magic, Conjuring of Light, and the one I can never remember. But it is, so it's technically is and it technically isn't. For the sake of this challenge, we're counting it as is, because I know I'm probably going to continue when the next book comes out. But basically, if you went away, The Darker Shades of Magic follows Kel and Lila in a world very similar to ours, but there are 4 of them. There is Red London, Black London, White London. Was there 4 or 3? And possibly another London. And in most Londons, there is magic. But in Black London, they don't go there. Kel is a traveller. He is able to navigate between all of these different worlds, and even he won't go to Black London unless he really, really has to. So he is in sort of our world, which I think is, I want to say Red London, but I'm not 100%. I can't quite remember the details. But he is there, and he picks up somehow Lila. And Lila is an orphan, but she becomes so much more throughout the course of the series. We have Alucard. I love when I figure out that his name is Dracula backwards. Chef's kiss. But so far, I'm not that far in. I think I'm on 80 pages in. And yes, I splurged when I bought this and got the Forbidden Planet exclusive edition with the sprayed and stenciled edges, and it is signed by the author. But I wouldn't have splurged if I didn't know I already loved Schwab's writing. So I think there's only one book of Schwab's that I didn't like, and that was just because it wasn't for me. I wasn't a fan of Gallant, which I know a lot of people aren't, but some people are. Each to their own. I'm not going to like every single book that an author puts out, and I'm fine with that. It's why Philippa Gregory and I have a love-hate relationship. She's a bit of an author. She can be a bit of an auto-buy author, but in the same time, I don't like everything she's written. So it's 10:05. Yes, I'm getting a late start. No, I don't care. I needed it, I think. So yes, I managed to draft out the entirety of chapter 1 yesterday, and about a paragraph or so of chapter 2. It's hard to say page or word count on this because it is just a digital notebook, but it does the job for what I needed to. So yes, that is that. I will come back to you when I have something to say, but if you plug time, if you weren't aware, A Little Piece of Magic is my sort of new adult paranormal witchy werewolf romance quartet. Yes, I am planning a quartet. Following Riley, who is a young witch who is pretty much outcast by her society because of her animalistic powers, and she meets a hunter. Now, Hunter is a werewolf and her fated mate. And let's just say Riley's ex is not a nice person and ends up back on the scene, which obviously leads to the event of From Witches and Wolves, and now from Into the Darkness. Although I think at this point we've left that story arc behind and we are starting a new one in this book. So I'm very excited. I love Riley. I love her voice. But yes, we'll come back to you when something happens. Oh, and the link to my first 2 books, A Little Piece of Magic, From Witches and Wolves, is in the description down below. It's available on in paperback on regular Kindles, so regular ebook, and Kindle Unlimited. So it would mean the absolute world if you would go check them out for me. But yes, that sounded like the end of the vlog, but it's not. A little bit later now, it's 2:20. I've hit the 100 page mark in Fragile Threads of Power, and while there has been a bit of a time gap, the characters still feel the same as they did at the end of the original series. And I have been working on chapter 2. I really do love this tablet. And I think I'm nearly finished this second chapter, but I'm just going to go, because I don't have page count or number count on here, it's just a case of stopping when the chapter feels right, which, to be honest, is why I'm doing it this way, and then I can type it up and standardize it if needs be. But yes, I'm still enjoying this. I have a new character, a couple of new characters to play with in this chapter and in the story as well. If you've read A Little Piece of Magic and From Witches and Wolves, you'll know that Riley has been put through it. And unfortunately, that's not ending soon. What I'm planning for this series, this installment, if the muses play nicely with the outline, it's gonna get dark, it's gonna be a bit more expansive, and I am very much looking forward to writing that, especially there is one or two particular scenes that I think of are going to be a bit of a heart-wrencher, and I'm here for that. I love the emotional connection in books, so it's probably enough yapping and just time to get on with it, I think. So yes, I will come back to you again probably when I finish this chapter, but we shall see. Okay, slightly different angle, just because where I normally have you with the curtains behind me, massive glare, but it's now Wednesday. Ignore these piles of books, they're for the sequel reading project, but I have an announcement. Rise of the Rider, while it still doesn't have an official cover, has an official release date. It is being released on the 30th of May. As always, I'll pop the links in the description down below. And I'm so excited. So, I have to pop you down. How's that? That's better. But you can see my dirty washing. And then you can see, we'll pop you back here. But yes, the 20th of May, sorry. I'll pop the details in the description down below, but this is my YA fantasy following Ro, who is a human raised by elves in a world where the elves are the bad guys. As they want to free the dragons and griffins of this world from something known as conscription, which binds them in more ways than one. As always, it's going to be available on Kindle Unlimited, and in paperback copy, but I can't do pre-order paperback. But as soon as that is available, I will let you guys know. So it would mean the absolute world if you would consider checking it out when it's live, or even pre-ordering it. I'm so excited for this one. It is 396, I think, pages on Kindle, but obviously we are still doing those last minute edits, so that's pretty much all I had to say. So I'm just doing final, well, not final, we're just doing more edits at this point, really, aren't we? So I will just crack on with that, I think. Okay, it's Saturday. I can't remember the last time I actually vlogged was, but I tried Heatless Curls again, and I'm very much liking them. It is like 6-7 o'clock now, but I've had a very nice day. I've had a very nice week, actually. I've been pottering with those last final bits of I keep wanting to call a Little Piece of Magic, but it's not. That's the other one, with Rise of the Riders, the Dragon book. That I am very happy with how that is at the moment. I did get my bound manuscripts from Doxu. They are just downstairs and I can't be bothered to bring them up right now. So, I am liking the girls. I really am. But yes, I've got about 4 copies of them just plain black with silver writing while I wait for my good friend who is designing my covers. He's brilliant. So I'm just sort of playing the waiting game now. I do have some people in mind to give the proof copies to, just to read and double check things. They will be made aware that the current version is slightly different. I know I've added at least 2 new scenes to my draft than what they're getting, so I will explain that to them as well. I can't stop playing with my hair. But I did also watch 6 this morning with a friend, old school friend, where we turned out we do our day jobs in the same place. So we bumped into each other on a morning and we thought it was time to have a proper catch up. So we went to see 6 this morning and that was hilarious. The show is brilliant. If you don't know, it follows Henry VIII's 6 wives as they put on a concert and sort of go from there. There we go. That's fixed that, I think. But I thoroughly enjoyed that. And of course, me and my friend, we just sang our little hearts out in the cinema. Luckily, it was fairly quiet, 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And then on the way back, because she drives, we were singing our hearts out a lot louder in the car. And I think nobody could hear us, nobody could see us, and it was brilliant. So since I've come back, I've been pottering around in my bedroom, just cleaning it, sorting things out. And I am still reading Fragile Threads of Power by Victoria Schwab. This is a big book. This is the Forbidden Planet edition, so it has these stenciled and sprayed edges. I've just hit the 489 page count, and I think this version is about 571 pages. We have acknowledgements, about the author, and this little bit here is a short story. I don't know if this is in all of the editions or if it is just, exclusive to my edition, but I will be reading it. I am very much enjoying this installment of the Fragile Threads, the Darker Shade of Magic universe. This is book 1 in a different series which carries on, I think, about 6 years later than when Darker Shade of Magic left off. I'm saying that, but that's not the title of the series. I can't remember what it's called. Threads of Magic? Something like that. But if you went away in this world, there are, I'm sure I've gave you a synopsis. I can't remember what I've told you and what I haven't, and I've got a feeling that this vlog is so short. I'm just going to continue it on for a little bit longer. Just for another week, just so we can get some quality footage and I can finish this book, because I am very much enjoying it. But it is time, I think, to read something new. If I keep looking up there, it's because that's where my books are. I pulled out all my series just so I can get a crack on that. So yes, oh, it's 7:05, that's what time it is. So yes, I have had a very relaxing day, and now I am going to read and chill, because tomorrow will be exactly the same, and then Monday back at work. Yay. And I've just knocked you over. Oh, double chain. So it's Sunday. I'm just pottering because I don't know what to do. 2 updates. I finished A Fragile Threads of Power by Victoria Schwab, or as she's on this one, V.E. Schwab. I really enjoyed being back in this world, and characters are older in this, so they do read different, especially Lila. She's much more mature. Kel is broken, and just the dynamics between Rai, Alucard and some new characters are perfect, and it just, that's a happy ending for them, which gets me very, very worried, because this is not a happy ending kind of story. There's no guaranteed happy ending. But I absolutely adored it. It's not a 5-star. I didn't get that emotional connection, but I think that wasn't the book's fault. I think that's me, because I am doing 6,000 things at once and wasn't able to get fully invested with these characters, with this story, as much as I was hoping to. Schwab is becoming, I don't know if she's a favourite author yet, but she's definitely an auto-buy author, and I am very excited to continue with this series and to read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil when that comes out. I have no idea what it's about. Will I look into it before I buy it? Nope. Will I read the synopsis? Probably. Will I take any notice? Nope. I will just read it and discover as I go. I'm very much a discovery reader. And then we have this pretty, I love the foil. Okay. The next book I write has to have foil. I have to have foiling. But this is just the, as I don't know if you can tell because it'll be backwards for you, but it's just the uncorrected bound manuscript. I've got a couple of these to give to some friends for proofreading purposes and beta reading purposes. But we have, this one is 265 pages long. The finished copy, I think, stands about 300 pages, which I've never written a book that long in a while, but that does include like all the acknowledgements, the front page matter, the back cover matter, not all of that good stuff. So yes, I am excited about this. I cannot stop looking at it. It's just so pretty. The foil. Okay, I'm getting distracted by foiling now. So yes, it is, like I say, it is a Sunday. Now, I'm not reading this edition just because I know I've updated it since then. I will let the friends who are reading it know that that's the case, and that they are just being second opinion beta readers if there's something they like, if there's something they don't like, and things like that. I'm not too fussed about them picking up grammar or spelling at this point. I mean, it'd be nice if they did, but it's not why they're getting it. So yes, once everything's sorted, I will let you know what happens. But I'm so excited for this release. The cover, and I know I haven't released anything yet, but the cover is absolutely perfect. I'm still waiting for the design of the spine, but I'm not worried in the slightest. I'm just excited, and I just wanted to see it, and I want to see it all together and order myself some author copies, some pretties. But I'm going to actually do something now, but I don't know what. I mean, cross stitch for a while. I think I haven't done that yet, and I want something. I want to stay off screens as long as I can today, just because I work 8-4 in an office. Like, I'm a hospital, I'm a hospital receptionist and technically admin assistant, so it's a lot of screen work. And then I come home and I stare at a screen for the writing, and I am incredibly grateful that I have a job that allows me to do that, that I can work my hobbies around that. So, but I do want to make the most of having a non-screen day if I can. Now that doesn't include my phone, and it doesn't include a Kindle, but I just mean like computers, staring at computer screens and trying to stay off social media as much as possible, just because, you know, the world's hard enough already. I don't need to deal with the conflicting emotions that come from social media. And I'm still trying to catch up all the series I own. It is a work in progress, and it will be for a while. And it is just my physical books that I'm trying to read through. I'll deal with the Kindle later. Because I am trying to buy, because I'm running out of space basically, I'm trying to condense my physical collection and also utilize the digital space I have available, which is why a lot of my books, well, all my books, will be available in a digital format and a physical format. I will look at audiobooks at some point. They're expensive, and it's not something I have much experience with myself. I'm not an audiobook person. I still count it as reading, don't get me wrong. It is still taking in a story. I just sort of think as audiobooks as you are being read to, and when you are reading, when you have the copies, let's say, and when you use your eyes as opposed to your ears, you are taking in that story in a different format. And for me, I can listen to music, but I can't listen to an audiobook. I find myself zoning out. It is something that I want to work on, just because I think the way you take in a story definitely changes how you feel about it. There are some people who prefer the audiobook to a physical book, and vice versa, and it'll be the same book. It's just how it is, how you interpret it, how you take that information in. And I've lost track of what I was saying now, but yes, audiobooks are something I will look at. It's not something I have much experience with, and I feel like I am missing out and I am excluding people. It's not intentional. I just don't know how to go about audiobooks, because I know for myself personally the wrong narrator can put people off, and I know there are AI readers, but I'm very wary about including AI into my work, and I'm wary about if they sound robotic as well. And it's just about finding the right way to go about it and how to find the right person to read it as well. Someone at work suggested that I read it, and I'm like, no, I do find that people tell me I have a calming voice, I have a calming influence, but I don't think I'm the right person to read my own book. I don't know why. I love it when authors do that, but for me, for a fictional story, I don't think it's the right idea right now, purely because I don't have space or time or equipment to do that. So yes, audiobooks are on the back burner for now. It's something I am thinking about, but not right now. This isn't a right now problem. It's a back burner look at when I'm a bit more time and a bit more financially able to invest in that side of things a bit more. That being said, I've rambled on for 10 minutes about nothing, but just a reminder, because I can give you a reminder now. Rise of the Riders is the first book in my planned Dragon series. The series name is tentatively titled The Riders, and this will be available to purchase from Amazon on the 20th of May. Pre-orders are available for Kindle, well, ebook, and it will be available on Kindle Unlimited. All the details are in the description box below, as are the details for my first two books, A Little Piece of Magic and From Witches and Wolves, which are a witchy werewolf paranormal romance in which we follow Riley, who is an outcast witch just trying to find her way in the world while dealing with some supernatural elements that are less than savoury. That is available now, as I said. Also available in Kindle Unlimited ebook form and physical format, and it would be brilliant if you would take a look at that. I think I might make that my outro now. Now that's a thought. I will come back to you at some point during the day with an update on what I've done and if I'm reading anything. Okay, so can I pop you here? You're not gonna fall? You're gonna fall. I'll just hold you. So, still Sunday, it's 2:45. I've just realised I haven't had anything to eat, so I've got some food on order. And I've started reading Glint by Raven Kennedy. This is the sequel to Gold? I've forgotten what the first one's called. But it's the Plated Prisoner series. This is a dark romance retelling of the King Midas myth and is not for the faint of heart. What I did really appreciate of this one is that there is a content warning. I do like the content warnings just because it does give a flavour to what you're getting into, and if there's anything potentially triggering to yourself in there. It is something I try to do with my own books, just so people are aware they're not going to be blindsided by potentially difficult or harmful topics to themselves. With that being said, I'm only like 5 chapters in. The first chapter was a prologue by a different character. Is it a prologue? No, it's all just normal chapters. The first chapter was by a different character. I think from what I remember of Gold, the main perspective was Oren's, and this time we have a new perspective opening the book, called Queen Melina. We haven't had any more of her perspective yet. But in this world, we follow Oren, who is a prisoner of King Midas. Now, she is what's called gold touched. You get where we're going with this one. And she has been kept as a pleasure slave by Midas, although they're called saddles, although he doesn't use her in that way. Now, she is very protective of him. She's kept in a birdcage, but she likes the birdcage because she actually feels safe and protected in there. She's had a pretty traumatic background, and Midas is the only person that can help, and he's seen her through so far. So it is slow going. I have heard that we don't really get the main love interest until like book 3, but in this one it is hard to tell you what has happened, just because it is a sequel. But I am enjoying being back in this world. I am enjoying Raven Kennedy's writing style. She's very direct but not simple. She says what she needs to say, and Oren is very sheltered, very single-minded, but I'm hoping she will grow from that. She also has these ribbons that haven't really been explained yet, but I'm hoping that they have a purpose and they're not just there to make Oren look special. But is something that I am enjoying. This is different for me. I do have a couple of dark romances, but I don't tend to pick them up very often. I'm more, but I would say this falls under the category of a romantasy. I think without the, but then again, these earlier books don't tend, if you get rid of the, there isn't really a romantic element in them yet. I think it's still very fantasy, but it does lean more romantasy as the series goes on. So I'm very intrigued and I am enjoying it. I don't know who the main love interest is. It hasn't been confirmed, but I have a suspicion. I won't tell you if I'm right. I'll tell you if I'm right or not, but I won't tell you who because I don't want to spoil anything. And I like going into books blind, not knowing as much as possible, and I think that's the way to do it. Obviously, if there are content warnings, I will let you guys know, but I don't think, other than what is mentioned in the book itself, I don't think there's more coming up. But then again, I am only 5 chapters in. But this book is very dark. It does deal with some sexual harassment, sexual abuse. The Saddles are pleasure slaves, basically. They can't say no, and that's what they are employed for. So, fun for them. Yes, I will get back to this now and hope my food gets here soon.